Welcome back to another episode of the Pain, Performance, and Pohada podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nick Smith. I'm a licensed physical therapist and strength and conditioning coach for Jiu Jitsu and other combat athletes. Today's topic of discussion is something that is going to rattle some cages and rustle some jimmies. And it's because there are some older heads, so to say, in the sport who have imposed a generational cancer on the sport with their old school, outdated, and quite frankly, stupid mentality around injuries. And whether it's ego, whether it's the old guard, I'm not quite sure. I'm sure it's a combination of everything. But the old methods are no longer serving the community in the same way. And I think there's this convoluted idea that you are a weak person or you are soft if you address your injuries, which is insane to even say out loud. But I think subconsciously, grapplers really struggle with the idea that injuries, being injured, is a sign of weakness. And we operate in a sport that is predicated. Sorry, there's some dingus here at my door, so they need to go away. Anyway, our sport is predicated on injury, right? We're taking joints beyond their physiological limits for fun. We're creating situations where we are putting our bodies in contorted positions with speed, power, all of the above. Injuries are going to come up. I'm not saying that it's adorable. It's not a passive sport. Injuries do happen. But there's also this mentality of just forget it. And if you acknowledge the fact that you are experiencing pain, then you're a soft person, which is nonsense. Everybody experiences pain to some degree. Yes, some people have more experiences with pain. Maybe they can tolerate it a little bit better. Sure. But at a certain point, the injuries or the pain that you're enduring are starting to impact the ability to not just train, but it are starting to creep into your aspects of life outside of the mats. You have a problem. And it's not weak to address them. It's stupid. It's actually dumb. So I have been on this mission since starting to really adjust your associations, your relationships with injury around this sport. And quite frankly, if you address the injuries the way that you should, I'm going to step back. I'm having a problem word finding right now, and we're going to circle back. On top of the old guard being very ego driven around pain is weakness leaving the body, there's also a series of doctors that have imposed this also, and medical professionals who are well, if you're injured and you have pain, you should just quit the sport, do something that's easier. So grapplers by association are well, if I just tough this out, then I can participate and nobody can tell me to quit. There's gray area in here. Things have evolved, and I'm showing you where the gray area is. The people who have pushed through pain and tried to endure it all have shorter careers, or at least shorter positive careers. They're not enjoying the sport the way that they used to. They might be training on your mats now with a black belt that's completely worn out, and they have some destroyed body part that's just completely cooked. And they're not able to train the way that they want. And yeah, they can get away with it because they're good at jiu-jitsu, but they're hurt. And there are ways to completely prevent that by changing what you do today. I don't care if you're a blue belt adult. I don't care if you're Masters 4. There's something that you can do today in terms of how you associate injury or pain around your training volume and training intensity that will allow you to expand your jiu-jitsu career by years, quite literally years. And I want to start breaking this old habit of addressing your injuries makes you weak. That's not the case at all. Addressing them, acknowledging them, and learning how to train and manipulate your training versus just resting entirely is actually more productive and much more systematic. As a result, you'll be able to train more consistently on the mats, and you're going to get better than the next person, than the person who is trying to train through their injury and they're toughing it out even though they can only put out a 30% effort because they're miserable. So there's ways to do this systematically, but this is a topic that's going to come up a little bit more in videos that I post, and I had a couple conversations this week with people who that old philosophy has really come to bite them in the ass, and it makes me sad to see this sport has come to that. And when there's so many better resources out there, where find that person like myself, and my other colleagues who are not going to tell you to quit. They don't want you to quit. That'd be stupid. You're not going to quit anyway. But showing you how to train intelligently. And that doesn't mean that you're soft. It means you're doing things smart. And smart doesn't mean weak. It's tactical. You're actually going to be a better grappler because you're going to learn how to reduce the intensity and learn how to train around your pain. I tell people, I want you to train as much as you can safely. You can ask any one of my athletes. I will do everything in my power to keep you from saying you need to not train. There are times where that is appropriate, but there's something that you're doing, whether it's drilling, whether it's rehab, whether it's watching instructionals, but you are training. It's never an off thing. But to train through pain or to think that you're weak because you have pain, it's not the case. I'm planting this seed now. I want to plant this seed for you. If you're listening to this as a quick one, and maybe you've experienced this, I want to hear your story. I want you to reach out to me. You can send me a message. You can send me an email. I don't care. I want you to reach out, and I want to hear your story, and I want to hear what BS people have put in your brain around injuries. And I would love to be able to help build a new association around injuries, pain, and jiu-jitsu. Remember, pain is a privilege. Pain is not something you should fear, just something you should respect. See you on the next one. See ya.